Hi, let's talk about fasting. Now, I'm on day 3 of a water fast. And water fasting is simply when you do not eat or drink anything that isn't water. And I've been doing this now for 2 days, and I'm on my third day. And I'm intentionally only doing this for 3 days because that is what I need right now. Now, I'm going to talk about water fasting. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about fasting in general because, there's a lot of controversy over fasting. Is it good for you? Is it not good for you? Is it, what should I do? What kind of fast should I do? There's so many different kind of fasts out there, so many different kinds of cleanses. Cleanses essentially are a type of fast. And so let's just talk about why we do this. Now, we've been told that we need to eat all the time, right? Like that's just something that is put out into the narrative, mainstream narrative, that we need to be eating all the time. Now, the truth is our human biology is not designed to eat all the time. We evolutionarily have not really evolved into a period where we understand food is available to us at any time that we want. As we are exposed to food on billboards and, just at meetings, and it's just there. It's there and it's constantly feeding us in numerous ways because it's not just feeding our physicality. It feeds our emotions. It feeds our mentality. And so it's really important to understand that when we look at human biology from the perspective of evolution, that we are used to periods of fast and famine. Food was not available to us all the time, and especially sugar. Sugar was a rarity. Sugar was a sign for our body that it was time to store whatever we needed to store within our body to make it through winter, where there was going to be less food available to us. So now what we see is that there's sugar in everything, sugar in things that don't need sugar. I once looked at a back of a pack of taco seasoning, and the first ingredient was sugar, and the second ingredient was sugar. And people wouldn't have recognized these as sugar because they were using chemical names for various sugar derivatives that they're using that basically raise our blood sugar levels. So what's really important to understand is that our bodies are designed to fast. Now, there are some considerations that we have to take into account. I want to make this disclaimer that I am not a licensed medical professional able to give you any sort of medical advice for your health. I am speaking to you as a scientist, a well-informed, health enthusiast, and somebody who's very well-informed in nutrition and understanding of the body. And these are things for you to consider, to go and explore, and to then further decide what is right for you. Now, there are other considerations when we look at things like body type and, constitutions. In Ayurveda, they talk about, different constitutions. There are 3 main constitutions. And for one of them, which is known as Vata, which is like an airy, a little bit more ungrounded, not ungrounded in a bad way, but just, there's more energy associated with it. And in those cases, there are a lot of Ayurvedic physicians that say that fasting is not good. I would make the argument that it's the type of fasting and how you fast in terms of determining if it's not good for your body or, if it could be beneficial. Fasting has shown to improve people's health and wellness mentally, emotionally, and physically. We don't just fast for, losing weight. There are some people who do it for losing weight, but I do not recommend it for losing weight because what will happen is your body will then just bounce back to what it was pre-fast, and then you're going to then teach it those mechanisms of push and pull where you're going to lose the weight and then gain the weight back, and then what will end up happening is that it won't work anymore, and then you will think that this is not something that's beneficial for you. Versus the true benefits of fasting, which is eliminating toxins from the body, eliminating toxins from the mind, and releasing any stored emotions. What we're doing by fasting is we're allowing our body to heal. Our bodies spend so much time in activity, doing everything that we need to do and function in life. You don't have to tell your body to breathe. You don't have to tell your body to make new red blood cells. You do not have to tell your body that it's time to digest. But you can aid its ability to do so. A lot of dis-ease stems from the fact that we are overwhelming our bodies. Not only does our body have to do its normal daily functions, okay, the sun is coming out, it's really beautiful, so I apologize if there is a change in the way I look on the screen. But if you are looking at your body and you are looking at the health and wellness of your body, what ends up happening is the body is designed for normal function, which is to breathe air, to eat food from the ground, and to drink clean water. But we've evolved into a society where we're now exposed to a lot more toxins. No matter what we do, there are toxins in the air, there are toxins in our water, there are toxins in the food that we eat. No matter how well we try to clean it out, we're still going to be exposed to it. There are toxins in the carpet, in the sofas, in the roadways, in, the fencing materials. There are just so many chemicals that are out in the world that we are exposed to, and our body doesn't know what to do with them. We are not designed to eliminate these chemicals. So what ends up happening is they get stored in our body. The other things that we're storing in our body are our pent-up emotions, traumas from the past. You don't even realize sometimes how the most small event can lead to an emotional response that we don't realize is really overwhelming for us. And because we live in societies that try to tell us that we should hide these emotions, that we should just show our happy face, that we should be able to deal with life, we don't realize how much we store in our body. And so there is that storage mechanism that comes into play, because this is what we're designed to do, because the body needs to function and it only has so much energy to do the things that it needs to do. We're expecting it to work all day long and to use all that mental power and to do the things that we want to do in life. And then on top of it, it has to do its normal functions of like elimination, digestion, respiration, etc., etc., etc. And on top of it, it has to get rid of all the things that are being, bombarded upon us, whether it be from, the sunlight, or whether it be from, the air that we breathe, or the food that we're eating. There's so many, and even emotions, right? Like having an argument with somebody. All of these things are just our systems within our body can get overwhelmed. So what a fast is it's allowing us to rest and digest. Now, there's so many different types of fasts, right? There are fasts where you can just eliminate solid food. There are fasts like intermittent fasting, where you have an extended period of not eating, which is really good for the body because it gives the body the time to digest the food that you have eaten the prior day, and also to release everything that it does not need and allow it to heal. Then there are fasts that are like liquid fasts, where you're drinking juices. There are things like water fasts, where you don't do anything except drink water. Now, if you're new to fasting, then it can be really difficult at first, because we're so emotionally tied to food. And food not only has the emotions in terms of emotional eating, like if you're an emotional eater, I can be an emotional eater where I feel like, whenever I have strong emotions, then my body wants comfort and it seeks comfort food. And for me, that might be chocolate or sweets, or it might be really fatty foods that are like, comforting in that way. And that's the emotional eating part of me that comes out when I am, in any sort of situation, or if I've had a long work day, and then recognizing those things within myself, I can see like, oh, I'm starting to crave this. What's going on? There's also the fact that food is just around us all the time, and we're told that we need to eat. And so it's really hard when we're bombarded with billboards and, just food everywhere. And so there's a desire to eat. It triggers that response within us, and it takes willpower to not eat. And then there is the communal sharing that comes with when we eat, right? We don't eat for the most part in isolation, though I know that, that happens in a lot of people's lives. But food is really about sharing, right? We have dinners with people, with our family, with our friends. We have, sometimes might share a lunch with the colleagues, or, there's a communal aspect to it. Food is all about sharing. And when we withdraw from that, it can feel a little bit ungrounding, or like we're not participating, or that we're isolated. So there's a lot of different concepts and aspects of food and fasting that we need to work through as we are working through a fast period. And so this is why it's really easy to say, yes, I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna go on this fast, I'm not gonna eat for a day, or I'm gonna do intermittent fasting, and I'm gonna shift my schedule so I eat from 9 to 4, and then I'm not gonna eat the other times, or whatever it is, and then eat something and to feel guilty. What ends up happening is you perpetuate cycles of guilt and negativity within you because you think, I can't do this. This is not for me. This doesn't work. I'm not capable of this. And what happens is then you teach your body that fasting is not good. What you want to do is to be able to create safety in your body. Because what this is about is allowing us to feel safe in our body, to love our body, to help our body heal, repair, let go, and to also be a better version of ourselves. Now, I don't do water fasts that often. I really prefer to do one-day fasts if I do a water fast, or I do extended fasting periods where I train my body to I'll train it into a point where I will have a one-day fast once a week. That's my regular routine. Now, I don't do water fasts regularly. I don't do 3-day fasts regularly. I actually do a one-day water fast once a week, but times it can be harder for me, like winter time when it's cold, because fasting can make you a little bit chillier because you don't have the heat coming from the digestive power that's normally focused on cranking out all the enzymes to digest the food that you need. So what ends up happening is I've trained myself to do these one-day fasts, but then winter comes around and it may not be as viable for me to do a water fast for a full day. So I then focus on other foods, like making sure that I'm gaining nutrition through maybe light eating. I might eat something like khichdi, which is an Ayurvedic recipe for a very easily digestible food that does not put any stress on the body, and it has a complete protein, and I modify my khichdi so that there's vegetables and other stuff in there. So I'm getting easy to digest nutrients. Or I might do it as where I juice all day, or I might have smoothies. So there's different ways of doing it. But what I really highly recommend is getting your body to feel safe through a mechanism where you are looking at eliminating certain foods, right? You don't need to eat processed foods. Processed foods are tasty for a reason. They are designed by the food industry to be tasty. I apologize for the noise behind me. This is a little neighborhood that has lots of people with lawns that like to garden. I apologize for the noise behind me. This is a neighborhood with people with lots of lawns that need lawnmowers. I highly suggest, if you have a lawn, to transform it into a lush garden of food you can grow. Even if it's low maintenance things, you can plant a tree full of lemons and limes or apples. Look at your climate region, look at what's good for you. You can visit your local gardener and figure out what's the best thing. Grow tomatoes. Tomatoes are so easy to grow, they grow everywhere. So I highly recommend you transform a lawn into something where it is benefiting, where you are able to create food that you are growing with your energy, with your love, and then putting into your body, because that really makes a difference. One of the things that we get from food is the energy of the food. It's not just the nutrients. We are not reducing food to macromolecules and micronutrients. There is more to food than that, and it is the life force energy. And processed food does not have that life force energy. On top of it, it's going to have a lot more of the table salt, the high iodized salt that can raise cholesterol, can raise blood pressure. It's going to have unhealthy fats. There's lots of different things to consider with processed food. And so what you can do is, it's hard to get away from processed food in today's world. I understand. It tastes good. As I mentioned before, it's designed that way to keep you eating, to keep you buying. This is not done, without conscious thought, because it costs a lot to run a food company. And so you want to make the food really tasty. And so that, these are things that you can abstain from. And you can easily make a fast where it's just like, I'm going to eat really good nutritive food. I'm going to eat, food that does not have any trans fats, that does not have any seed oils, that does not have any table salt. And you can use things like pink Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt. There's so many different ways to do this. Now, I run a 7-day detox program where you are given plenty of information. You can prepare. It prepares you for this 7-day fast, because what's really important with fasting is preparing yourself mentally just as much as it, and emotionally as well, just as much as it is a physical thing that you need to do. And so in the 7-day detox, you have like, I don't know, 20 some videos where it's preparing you for the fast, and it's giving you all the tips and tricks that you need to do so that you can make this fast successful. And then through the 7-day period, you're being guided through that. And it's an online program. You can sign up for it. There's a little community, and you're not doing this alone. And, it's a really wonderful way to introduce yourself to fasting, because what it does is you're eating whole foods and you're eating nutritious foods, and you are ramping down the number of meals that you have per day, and you are given ways and tools and techniques, everything from breathing exercises to gentle movement to substitutions that you can do to help supplement yourself through that time. And then you go into an elongated fast period, which is just a little bit over 24 hours, and then you slowly bring the food back in. The reason I do it this way is because it's creating safety in the body. Now, what ends up happening is when you go into fast too quickly or without preparation, or suddenly you're just doing water fasts and you're fighting your body. You're like, I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat. And like, you're like, I'm saying no, please just take that food away from me. It's so hard. When you do that, you're not creating safety in your body. And what ends up happening is your body is going to hold on to those toxins. It's going to hold on to those negativity and those emotions and all that trauma. That this is what we're trying to release. When you go into a safety mechanism with your body and you fast properly and you detox properly, you let go of all those things. You're able to see certain patterns within your life. You're able to have certain thoughts come up. I can't tell you the number of thoughts that come up, things that I'm releasing from the past. And what's amazing is I can't even remember what they were, because it just feels like a complete release. I'm totally changing who I am because I'm allowing my body to remember that, to process that, and to let go. And that is what we are trying to do. It's, when we remove this kind of negative vibration that exists within us, then we are able to let go on a physical level. Our liver has more ability to just remove those toxins, those physical toxins that exist, those chemicals that are just stored in our body. Those chemicals are not only just hurting us physically through dis-ease, but they also then attract things that we don't want. And it can get worse as we get older. And this is why we want to just do this as much as possible. I can tell you that, I've gotten to the point now where I can receive messages from my intuition, from my guides, that tell me it's time to do a 3-day fast. The reason I ended up doing this 3-day fast is because we're in a little bit of an energetic portal right now. There's a reason why Easter and Passover and, happened during this time. And there's a reason, why, if you look at pagan times, there are stories of across the world, goddesses like Ishtar and Ostara that are, related to this time. People have been worshiping this time period for a reason, and right now there's certain things that are happening within our cosmology that are amplifying it, and I've just been doing a lot of inner work, and so my guides told me the way to integrate is through a 3-day water fast. Now I can tell you that last week or 2 weeks ago I tried to fast. We're coming out of our winter period and coming into the spring summer, and I tried to fast and it wasn't working. My days were really bombarded with a lot of things and it was really hard. One of the most important things about a fast is recognizing that this is a time to slow down. This is not a time to do all the things. And so, it's, making that agreement with yourself that you will be letting go of certain things. For me, that might mean like a hardcore morning workout. That might mean like doing extra work, getting everything done off my checklist because I might be moving a little slower. But now that I've been fasting for many years, and especially now, even through a 3-day fast, I find my mental clarity to be that much stronger than it has ever been. I would used to drink caffeine, and in order to get some mental clarity, to get some push in my life, and now I find fasting to do that for me. And so, it's really important to slow down. It's really important to allow yourself that space in life to release, to let go. And so I could not fast a couple weeks ago, and I was trying, and instead what I did were smoothie fasts and things like that. I was trying to do a water fast. My body was just saying no. My mentality was saying no. And so I let it go. And I just did smoothie fasts, and, I didn't chastise myself for anything. And now it said, do the 3-day water fast. And I did. I feel so alive. Somebody saw me yesterday on day 2 of my fast, and they were like, wow, you're like glowing and you're energetic. And, and it was all these things that you don't expect to hear from somebody who's not eating at all at that time. And so, it's amazing because what happens is our body just goes into deeper levels of healing. I have been releasing so much. I'm fasting safely. The importance of water is, there's so many things I could say about water. So water is this thing that hydrates us. Unfortunately, most water is not alive. So try to, get, access to the cleanest water that you can. Spring water is the best. Unfortunately, with how water is treated, it just, there's so many things. I triple filter my water and then I vortex it. If I feel the need, especially for extended fast periods, I add electrolytes. Now, I don't recommend using things like, I can't even remember the names of those other kind of electrolytes, but there's a lot of electrolyte powders out there. The problem is that they have a lot of chemicals in them. So you don't want to fast and add chemicals into your body when you're trying to detox from those chemicals. I use this one super fast, and there are no colors, no additives, only just the pure elements and minerals and vitamins like vitamin D, potassium chloride, and then calcium, phosphorus, iron, magnesium. And there's nothing else. And so, and then if I really am, in the morning, I will squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in there. So there is a little tiny bit of sugar in that. I'm using lemon to really just help my body absorb the water, because we don't absorb a lot of the water that we're drinking. And that's the reason why when you drink water, you might feel like a dry potted plant and pee it out immediately and you have to go all the time. It's because you're not absorbing the water. So these things can help you absorb the water. And so I add a little bit of that in order to help me absorb that water. Now, when you are doing like a 7-day detox, like with my program, and if you're interested in that program, I'll drop the link below. But, in that kind of 7-day detox program, you're eating fruits and vegetables, and that's going to provide you with that hydration. Drink water. Yes, always drink water. But, that's really where you're getting your hydration, is through that. And so there's a lot of different things to consider. But, when you start to feel different sensations in your body, that uncomfortableness that comes with the new feeling, right? You might feel like, I feel shaky, I feel weak, I feel all these different things. Now, of course, listen to your body. You know what's best for you and your life, and you should always listen to your body. But if you are willing to push past that, there are miracles that can happen, okay? So yesterday I woke up and I was like, I am supercharged. And I was like, I could go work out right now. But I stopped myself because, it's probably not the best thing for my body, because working out is going to put that strain on my body. So instead I did gentle movement, yoga, and it felt so good. And then this morning when I woke up, I was the exact opposite. I felt like, I felt really energized mentally, and, I felt this clarity and cleanness in my body, but I was dizzy upon standing. And I really felt like, okay, this is really a new way, and I just felt a little woozy, but I just told myself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And I, just gently allowed myself to wake up slowly, allowed myself to move, allowed myself to just integrate. I drank my water, I put a little bit of lemon in there. That definitely helped, but I was still very woozy. I wanted to move some of this energy from my body, so I did an even more gentle yoga, just 10 minutes of gentle yoga, which is just pretty much stretching and moving my body. And I felt so good. And now I'm back to that same energy level that I had yesterday. Could I go run a marathon? Probably not, but that's not what's needed during this time. This time is for just allowing myself to be. And what I mean by miracles happening is I have been dealing with certain pain in my shoulder and in my back, and I've been doing all the things. I've been doing things like chiropractic and acupuncture and yoga and, stretching out and doing the things that I need to do. I've been working on my emotions, working all these things. But this 3-day fast has taken away all of those pains from my body in a way that I have not had that kind of relief. Again, I'm sorry for the noise that's around here, but I haven't had that kind of relief. And this is what it means to heal and repair and allow your body to do this job. Our body is a self-healing machine. We have been told we need external things in order to heal our body, but the true healing comes from within. So allow yourself to do that healing. Allow yourself that chance for your body to repair. If you have any questions about fasting, if you have any interest in this, if there's anything you want to discuss, please reach out to me. I'm really happy to discuss this. I really do believe that, this is a key to our health, that it has been, misused and mismanaged, and, in terms of this idea of we need to eat all the time, and, the idea that fasting can't be safe. So, as I said, listen to your body. Fasting is really good during the transitions of the seasons. This is a great time to think about fasting as we're, in a transition of seasons in, this time period right now of April. I like to do fasts, at the change of seasons for both coming into spring, summertime, and then going out of going from the summer into fall, winter. Great time to just allow your body to heal and cleanse. Really encourage you to focus on, what you're eating as you think about fasting, as you think about all these things. Look at what you're eating, read labels, make sure that there are no chemicals, additives that you just don't need. Look at labels of food. Start to just teach your body that safety and comfort of eating real food. When you're hungry, reach for an apple, reach for a cucumber. They have great crunch. They have cucumbers, a lot of water. Apple has a lot of sugar, and it's really good for your body. Just think about different ways that you can encourage your body to gravitate to foods that are really helping it to heal, and then use fasting as a way to really detox, to release those mental, physical, and emotional toxins, and allow yourself to be the best you, raising yourself to the next vibrational level. I hope you enjoyed this talk, and reach out.